cutie, it's Cunning Little Cutie. Today is a very exciting day because it is the start of the Upside Down Readathon. This is a Stranger Things themed readathon being hosted by a bunch of really cool people here on BookTube. I will link all of the information down below if you want to learn more, but this is my week, y'all. I am so excited. I have been waiting for this ever since they announced it back in, I don't know, July or August. I am a huge Stranger Things fan. I've been watching the show since the very beginning. I'm very emotionally invested in it. Steve Harrington is probably my favorite fictional character of all time. Maybe tied with Cedric Diggory, but like, we'll say it's Steve for the sake of this readathon. I'm so excited. Okay, so the timing of this readathon actually works out perfectly because this week I'm going to visit my mama. She lives out in a very rural area with no cell service, no Wi-Fi, and you might be thinking, why are these good things? Well, they happen to be very good things if you are trying to get a lot of reading done. I literally can get the same amount of reading done in a week at Mama's house as I can get in an entire month at my house. I am not exaggerating one bit. So I am very excited. I'm very hopeful. I have a big TBR, and so I thought it would be fun to kind of go through the different books that I'm thinking of reading, match them up to the prompts, and then also pack them in. Thank you, Percy. Percy is here, by the way. Say hi. And then pack them in my backpack. So first up, we have for the multiple POVs prompt, we have probably the books that I am most looking forward to reading this fall, and that is the 3 Dark Crowns series by Kendara Blake. There are 4 books in this series. There's 3 Dark Crowns, 1 Dark Throne, what's next? Not that one. 2 Dark Reigns, and then the last one, 5 Dark Fates. So I have actually started this series before. I started reading it last fall, and I got through the first book and I really liked it. But last year, I was just so excited about spooky season and about all of the autumnal books that I wanted to read, and so I just got a little bit overwhelmed, and once I finished the first book I was just super excited to like keep moving on to other series. So this year I'm actually gonna sit down, I'm gonna reread the first book, and then I'm going to at least try to get through the second book, maybe the third. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I would basically describe this book as a cross between Little Women and The Hunger Games because it is about sisters who basically have to fight each other for the throne. And basically the last sister standing gets to be queen. It's very plot heavy, which is my favorite kind of book. So I'm very excited to reread book 1 and then continue with the series. So we have those 4. We're starting out very chunky. Next up, I'm not entirely certain if I'm gonna read these in this vlog, but it is The Inheritance Games and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And as you can see, I have already read the first one because I'm actually working on a dedicated reading vlog for this series, so hopefully that will be coming out soonish. So I haven't decided if I'm going to incorporate this into the readathon or not, but it would be a good pick for one of the prompts, which is something involving a competition slash game, and it's literally in the name. But I'm really excited to finish this series. I am partway through the second one and the third one has just come out, so I might take this as an opportunity to finish up this book. I'm not sure. Then we have those 2. And then lastly, we have the books that literally anytime you mention Stranger Things, these books always come up. And it is the Paper Girls graphic novel series. And from what I understand, this is compared to Stranger Things because it's set in the 80s. it is about a group of 4 kids, and it's like a sci-fi fantasy sort of situation. So, also, they just came out with a TV show on Amazon Prime. So, I think it would be really fun to read these graphic novels and then go and watch the series to kind of see which one I like better. So I got all 6 volumes from my library, and those are the last ones on my TBR. So right now, it's looking a little too big for my backpack. So what I'm thinking is, okay, so I just checked Scribd, which is the app that I use to listen to my audiobooks, and they actually have the entire 3 Dark Crowns series on there. So what I'm thinking, for the sake of space, is I could potentially just not bring any of these because they're just so heavy. And I know I'm gonna listen to the audiobooks anyway, as opposed to like physically reading it, because I'll get through them faster. So I think I'm gonna leave these at home. Realistically, I'm thinking I'm not gonna get through all of these while I'm there, because I'm only gonna be there for a few days. So maybe I'll just do like the first half. So the first 3. So that gives me like a good bit of reading material, but we're cutting down on some space. The final packing list is the 2 Inheritance Games books, because I know that if I do end up reading the Hawthorne Legacy, I'm probably gonna need the first one to like refer back to. And then the first 3 books in the Paper Girls series. And then I will also have the 3 Dark Crowns audiobooks downloaded onto my phone. All right, let's go.
I didn't end up filming at Mama's house simply because I wanted to be present and hang out with family, but I did vlog my road trip home.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to leave Mama's house, and I just wanted to give you an update on the reading that I got done, because as I predicted, I read a lot. I actually finished an entire book, which I wasn't expecting, because if you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Alexa and I am a slow reader. So all these girlies who are like out here reading a book in one sitting, great for them. I'm not one of them though, but I actually managed to finish 3 Dark Crowns in 2 days, which technically is the fastest I've ever read any book. Is like my running record is 2 days, and the only other time I did that was earlier this year when I read XOXO by Axio. Amazing book, but besides the point. Granted, this was a reread, so like I didn't have to listen to like every single detail as carefully as I did the first time around, but still an accomplishment. You know how like usually when you reread a book, it's like it's never gonna be as good as it was the first time around? Well, that was not the case with this book. It was truly just as exciting this time around as it was the last time I read it. And I'm realizing now that this was such a good pick for the multi-POV prompt, because I had forgotten truly like how plot heavy this book is, and like how often it's jumping around from perspectives, and not in a way that feels disjointed, but in a way that like constantly keeps you engaged and keeps your attention, because it's being told from all of like it's being told from the perspective of all 3 of the queens. So like 1 minute we're, you know, with the poisoners hearing about Queen Katarine, and then it'll skip to Arsinoe with the naturalists, and then it'll skip to what's her name, Mirabella with the elementals. So you're constantly seeing this fight for the throne from all 3 of the political factions like perspectives, which I think is really interesting because it does something really well, and that is it keeps you from like rooting for one character over the other. It keeps there from being a main character. It's kind of like the way that the most recent Little Women adaptation did with the four sisters. Like, I feel like traditionally Jo is kind of painted as the main character, but this adaptation did such a good job at like portraying the strengths and weaknesses of all four sisters. So that's why I think it's like Hunger Games meets Little Women, because you get to see all three of the sisters like at their best and at their not so best. And I don't know, like Arsinoe is my favorite, but I feel like that's just a me thing. It's not like she's painted to be the favorite, if that makes sense. So yeah, and then the plot twists at the end. Yes, plot twists, plural. There are 2 really big plot twists, and I remembered what they were, but I didn't really remember exactly how they went down. So getting to go through the details again and like watch them unfold for a second time truly was just as exciting as the first time around. So like all in all, this was such a fun experience. I'm so excited that I get to like keep going with this series. Like I'm literally like, let's get the show on the road. Let's hit the road, because I need to keep reading. I'm only a few chapters in to the next book, One Dark Throne, and I need to keep going. I'm so excited.
The road through the Stonegall Hills is quiet. The Queen's party has not passed anyone in half a day. Scouts were sent ahead. They have been sent more and
The hotel we're staying at has a really nice bathroom, so I thought it would be fun to show you my current skincare routine and also give you a reading update. My skin has absolutely been freaking out lately, so I went to Target and found this new brand called Bioma, and it has been an amazing skincare reset for me. It's super gentle but super effective. So, regarding One Dark Throne, we are really getting down to the wire. I've got about an hour and a half left in the audiobook, and the character development, like, I don't feel like there is a single flat or like secondary character in this series. Characters that I thought weren't gonna be that important turn out to be super important later on, which is so exciting to see. And I feel like that's the mark of a great writer, is someone who can keep you on your toes, but in a way that feels very natural and doesn't feel out of pocket. I honestly am just having the best time.
So when we got back from our trip, I actually had a package waiting for me, and I wanted to unbox it with you because I have been waiting for this. I'm so excited about it. If you are on Bookstagram at all, you have undoubtedly seen this brand before, and if you have not, it is the Common Room shop, and it is basically the ultimate fandom merch small business. Like any bookish related fandom you could want, they have merch for. And this is my first package from them. I'm so excited. So let's open it together. They have a whole collection of these for different like bookish characters. Like they have a lot from Harry Potter, And so I almost got the Cedric Diggory one, but then they released this and I was like, I just have to get this. I'm so excited about the Disney Plus series because as we all know, the Percy Jackson movies from the 2010s were just an absolute train wreck, and if you're someone who read the books, then I assume that you also were as personally offended as I was. It wasn't book accurate or a good movie. So I am so excited to get to see the new Disney Plus series. I think they cast it really well, especially Walker Scoble, I think is his last name, the kid from the Ryan Reynolds movie. Oh my gosh, could not have been more perfectly cast. But anyway, oh, it's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so we have other things to get to. So I also wanted to give a little reading update on Paper Girls. As you saw while we were at the hotel, I got through volume 2. I'm really liking it. I 100% see why everybody talks about these when it comes to Stranger Things. And I honestly kind of thought Stranger Things was in a league of its own, but this like truly is so similar to Stranger Things. And so basically the story is set back in the 1980s, and it is about these 4 girls who are like the first girl paper boys in their town, and it is the morning after Halloween, which is actually like you realize is the worst day to be a paper delivery person of the whole year because all of the hooligans are still out. It's like super early, it's like 4 in the morning, so all of the hooligans are still out from the night before, just completely creating chaos. And so these 4 girls kind of group together to get their routes delivered as a team, and they stumble upon some very strange happenings, and it turns out that there may be aliens, there may be time travelers, like they really truly don't know what's going on. It's definitely not like a cutesy little graphic novel. There's definitely like a good bit of language, and some of the drawings are a little bit like creepy. But overall, the story was really creative, and obviously, like just from the cover you can tell, the color scheme is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. But the characters are all really interesting, and one thing I will say is by the end of volume 1, you still have no idea what's going on. Like, I was so confused. I was more confused by the end of volume 1 than I was at the beginning of volume 1. So it's definitely one of those that, like, if you're gonna read it, you need to plan to like get all of the volumes from your library and not just start with volume 1, because you will not, like, it ends at a cliffhanger, you could say. But yeah, it's really good. And I am really excited because now that I am through the first couple of volumes, I am going to try watching the TV series on Amazon Prime and see, kind of like compare and contrast, see how they adapted it and if I like it. Okay, I just finished watching the first 2 episodes of Paper Girls, and I was just going to watch episode 1, but I literally could not stop watching. Like, it was so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, the Stranger Things vibes. Like, all of you girlies who are, you know, waiting for Stranger Things season 5, you need to go watch Paper Girls right now. Like, stop what you're doing and go watch it. It is so good. Like, literally, it is very much its own thing. Like, it does not feel like they were copying Stranger Things, but some of the scenes were just so reminiscent. Like, in particular, one of the very first scenes of Stranger Things, when all of the boys are like biking home from Mike's house after playing D&D, and they're just like talking, and there's like it's super dark, it's super late at night, and there's like the glow from the street lights, and like, it's just those vibes. Like, there were literally scenes in this show that were like the exact same vibes as that, and it was just so cool. Also, the casting, they cast these girls so amazing. Like, they're all very unique, and even just in the like little snippets of kind of like funny bantery dialogue that you get in episode 1, you get a very clear picture of their distinct personalities. Like, some of them are a little bit more sarcastic, some of them are a little bit more nerdy, and like, personally, I've never seen any of these 4 young actresses before, but they're amazing. I really hope that they just blow up and I start to see them in other projects, because their performances were just phenomenal. Also, the adult actress that they cast as like older Erin was perfect. She's so funny, and like, her just having an absolute breakdown when she realizes that these girls have like time traveled and stuff is so cool. Like, I honestly don't know why I haven't heard more people talk about this show. Like, I definitely saw all of the TikTok ads for it when it first came out, but I don't think I've actually heard from many people who actually watched it. So again, I just highly recommend it. It was very good. Overall, I had such a fun experience with this readathon. It was such a good idea. I love Stranger Things, and I got to read some really fun new book series, watch a new TV show, and just overall feel all of the fun Hawkins vibes. So thank you very much to Naomi, Olivia, Caitlin, Kendall, Lauren, and Jordan for hosting such an amazing readathon. As always, if there is any way that I can be encouraging you or praying for you this week, please let me know in the comments. A lot of you are going back to school recently, so let me know how that's going. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!